Saturday saw me have extreme issues with my bank account, being shut out by fraud prevention. It required me yelling about closing the account before they unlocked the card. I then was able to take out enough money to buy all the drugs I needed to keep going. A 10-strip of LSD gel tabs and .6 of MDMA. Getting the cash required me catching a golf cart shuttle back to the shopping center where Will Call was, outside the venue. While waiting, a young mother and her little boy gave us all a good chuckle. After they decided not to wait, another guy waiting with us told us that he overheard the boy talking about how when he grows up, he's going to get a motorcycle and that only the two of them are going to ride it. And we were all howling with laughter, making jokes about babysitters, Hell's Angels, and the like. On the way back, I shared the car with one beautiful woman. She made jokes about not expecting to come, and not sleeping or having clean underwear. And true, she looked hungover. Though when she was directed by the guy behind me to not sit in the car ahead of us due to the mudslinging of the tires in front of it, I said that she's beautiful is to my benefit. We hugged as I got out and went back to carouse. I played guitar for an hour or two. My fingers were hideously blistered by this point, and my voice was all but gone. My scientist friend got me linked up with a jackass he knew that sold me the MDMA. I didn't hang out after. I gave him the opportunity to go in with me, but when he dragged and suggested maybe I go ahead, I said okay and was at the gate around 3:15. Saturday marks the most people at the rail, though I still got to my same spot, replete with Anna, one more time. I spoke the most with 4 younger people behind me. 3 guys, 2 bros, Josh and Martin, and half of a couple. I forget their names. They volunteered and sorted trash for a free ticket. They have only been to a couple of shows. The bliss of their experience was noxious and intoxicating in the best way. They live in Boone and go to App State, an area I am familiar with, having lived in Banner Elk in 2014-15. I did a test tip of the MDMA. Anna saw me indulging. I did not offer her any. After I felt it was safe, not fentanyl, I shared with Josh and Martin before the show. The band remained in top form all weekend, with UB40 closing the set perfect. During set break, I introduced Anna to everyone, apologized for not offering any of my drugs, after explaining my hesitation regarding quality. But having now seen that it is pure, I offered, and she thanked me, but professed sobriety, sucking a lolly wide-eyed. I don't know that I believed her, but I wanted to. She told us she was originally from Alaska, and I told her I lived there for 2 years. I'll also say that the first set saw some 10,000 beach balls emerge from behind us, and I learned a lot. Those fucking things become nuisances almost immediately. The big ones become instant vehicles of aggression, with it ending every time with 2 groups of people violently hitting it back and forth, as in, fuck you, no fuck you, no fuck you, no fuck you, until someone yanks it terrestrial and pops it. The panorama of all of them bouncing is a nice memory. Getting hit in the head the next 2 hours with no warning is a toil. I constantly reminded everyone about how, if and when they hit them, they have to have conviction. And when they almost always come back, I made jokes about them lacking conviction. At times, I myself lacked conviction. They announced that due to weather, the sets had been pushed for Sunday to 1 in the afternoon. I made jokes about the legendary drug ditch parties to follow, to which Anna quipped, "Where's that at?" and looked at me. My heart broke. I told her where we all had been partying. They celebrated her boyfriend's birthday at set break with a cupcake that had a single candle burning adorning it. We all sang happy birthday really loud. It was a nice moment. The band came back on and did what they do best. Tweaker, smells and ethereal noises. Who enjoys themselves? A banger through and through. When the tweaker erupted, it was peak. The spectacle of wet, the trampolines, Clay dancing over drum and bass, the wild vocal jam to end the set. When they came back for the encore, they played Backwards Down the Number Line. As it is the only birthday song ever written, it is by default the best birthday song that isn't Happy Birthday. With the song unfolding, I had the thought, we are very close to the stage. I asked Anna what she thought, if they were playing it because they heard us singing Happy Birthday during set break. She smiled and nodded. Clay waved right at us after Tweaker reprise, and they left the stage. That was choice. Best band ever. After the encore when the lights came on, I told Anna I fall a little more in love with her every time I see her. She blushed and said, "Stop!" and gave me a good hug, maybe a little longer than her boyfriend liked. She asked me if I would be there tomorrow. I said yes, of course. And she said she would see me there. She's great. I'm hooked. I bounced with the younger cats. They offered me cocaine for sharing my ecstasy during the show. They were camped close to me, not very close though. I walked to my tent with one of them, Josh, and he informed me I had the best camping with the DJ bumping till the witching hour each night. We made a bunch of funny jokes about having great calves. We hung out for an hour and a half, finished off the bag, talking about shows and how we got into clam. They were riding high, getting their first UB40, Tweaker, and WET all in the same show. We exchanged numbers. I'll party with those cats again. I'll say Saturday night, late night, I was wearing Aliester heavy. If you had the eye, you could see him hanging within me. That witch, whoever she is to him. I did my best not to worry about it. It grows heavier each day. I got up on Sunday with no time to waste. Took a shower, shoved food in my mouth, drank as much of the free whiskey I got the night before between my campsite and the entrance, dumped the rest out, kept the gallon jug, and got inside around 10 a.m. I filled up my water bottles and sat with the 24 people already there, including the guy who was in front of me Saturday night. Nice guy. Got a little too close. I said something every time. He ate LSD and tried to read my mind. Maybe not conscious, but it was. He was reaching. I buried his mind in geometric scaffolding. We got along fine. Defended our spot. We all did. Saturday saw the worst trespass. This guy refused to leave. Older guy, tall, long graying hair, an obnoxious drunk, offering well-rehearsed, hideous one-liners. I explained to him that everything that he's saying is nonsense, because he could have been here. There is no secret. You arrive when they open the gate. That's the only rule. He had upwards of a dozen people all telling him to fuck off. Eventually, he ended up right behind me, with the bodybuilder all up in his face the last I looked. I appreciated that. We all looked out for each other. I see a lot of the same people near the band wherever I go. Everything collapses at the top of the pyramid. These older people, 50s, 2 women, some guys, wearing it well. One of the chicks said Halloween in Albany. The birthday song last night. We all look out for each other. Clam is with us too. My point being, these people, some of them, up here at the front all the time, are in fact close to the band. And while for now there are no more forthcoming shows, there is nothing saying she is not tapped into the pulse. I saw them all weekend as well. Though only told them have a good day, and that it was nice to meet them Sunday after the show. The wait Sunday was the longest direct exposure to the sun, exponentially increasing my fatigue. We were all gassed. Everyone was giving away drugs. The ditch party began as soon as we were settled. No Anna. I had heard their campground was the worst maintained. Maybe they said fuck it. Maybe they opted for somewhere else. But I met a bunch of cool people. I gave a girl, Julia, a hit of LSD. I was also given by the same guy who gave me the whiskey, and I ate the other one. Took some finger dips. Her boyfriend Brian gave me some mushrooms. I was full tilt the remainder of the day. Last day shit. Their friend Blue, older cat, maybe 45, rounded out the 3 I spent the most time with. The band came on around 1:30. The set was one marathon, 2.5 hours of continuous music, with Diego as the only encore. Walking out and chopping it up with the 3, we all shared a bunch of food and made plans to go see Questlove, who was scheduled to perform when the loudspeaker demanded we all go to our campground because of the weather. I considered parting ways, but when Blue rebuked me, "Come on, man. Come hang out, what the fuck?" The logic was sound. So I said, "Okay, you're right. I'll come hang out." And left the only time out of the other side through a different entrance to the festival with them. He was staying in a pre-built yurt. It was quite spacious, only 2 cots, but you could sleep 8 or 10 wooks in it easy, like a clown car or the endless napkin. We smoked cigs and ate chips and guac, discussed clam. It was a good time. Blue told a story about a party he tried to put on in Los Angeles, where he and Julia both lived for a time. That another guy fucked up by having the party at some celebrity's house out of town. We made jokes about pretension and the farce of glamour, of improper sacrifices to the party gods. Gold. Security came and said we had to sit in our vehicles, which signaled my departure. Though to anyone paying attention, these tactics are obviously politically motivated. The government using a very mild, tame thunderhead as an excuse to make a bunch of hippies leave on Sunday. It worked. We all hugged and exchanged numbers before I set out. Asking an employee how to return to Pod 4, I first was informed that I couldn't get there. Too many people were leaving. When I informed her I was walking, she gave me directions. The path from here to there was at least 4 miles, and yes, it did rain a little, but I was never soaked. I got several peculiar waves from locals relaxing on their porches. Several other hippies of the cruder variety head opposite me, passing through to I know not where. The final hour of walking to my campsite gave me a pristine view of a full rainbow. Perfect covenant. Pots of gold on either end. After arriving some 2 hours later, maybe it was 5 or 6 miles, my condition sat heavy upon me. My resources were all but gone, which is only true now, but my depression waxed as the day waned. I resigned it as tomorrow's problem, and did my best to have a good time. I meandered not very long around the communal area before asking a guy if I could sit next to him. I introduced myself, and when they reminded me that we had in fact met already, I realized they were the British folks I met on Wednesday afternoon. It felt like a lifetime ago. But I apologized and told them I remember. We hung out all night. The guy I sat next to, though the youngest, seems to be a catalyst or glue holding them all together. The one couple are both accountants, or some such. The other couples are creatives, the guy a drummer, the girl's sound, a real pro. She told us war stories of film sets and celebrities which were all funny, and largely predictable. She had no kind things to say about Motley Crue, Saul Dudd, Jason Momoa, mixed opinions about others. She was on the Mission Impossible set where the audio leaked of Motley Crue yelling at the crew about masks, and she was quick to clear the air. The 3 minutes recorded was the end of a 15-minute tirade where he shouted the most deplorable things you could imagine. Said that he would show up on days he wasn't even scheduled, walk right out onto the middle of the set and say, "Okay, let's do my close-up now." With similar sentiments and examples for Jason Momoa. Real diva shit. Barbara Streisand shit. How obnoxious. The band came on and we all did drugs and drank wine until the evil witching hour. And they finally turned in. I didn't sleep. Linking up with a girl. Authentic New Jersey wild wook bitch. But she is fine. But as crude as can be. We spent some hours together wherein I met all of her family and helped her mother pack a bunch of shit onto the top of her car before concluding I had to make a move. I took everything I needed, left the dumpy piece of shit tent, and walked over to the charging station. I sat there quietly before a couple sitting on the bench with me asked me how I was doing, to which I said I was stuck, and they offered me a ride to the train station in New Jersey, where I can catch a ride to New York and sell my Hasselblad. I mentioned Alistair. He was heavy on my heart. They were very understanding, encouraging, empathetic. I hung out with them for another hour or two and helped them tear down their camp. Sharing my kratom, we all got to know each other. The girl schooled me on the term, nigger rich, which is where you act like you have money, but you really don't. They too have struggled with drugs. As the ride got underway, they revealed they are in fact homeless also, living out of their car, offering a hypothetical space they didn't have, which I appreciate. It is a kindness. I would give them space too, if I had it. She talked of heroin, needles. She told me a story about how one time when they were in Penn Station, sick as can possibly be, a girl materialized from somewhere. Inquired if they were well, having the eye, you see, and proceeded to give them enough dope to stay well for 2 days. She said the girl was a foot model, and said she told her that her feet were too pretty, that the money is in gnarled, hideous feet. We parted ways as close friends. I was still pretty high on drugs when I got to the train platform. Dusk was approaching. First 2, then 4, and by the time the train arrived, there were going on a dozen excellent female specimens, if questionable in age. With the train in motion, 2 of them went full ferry and started taking pictures of themselves all over the car, inquiring amongst themselves what kind of pictures they should take, to which I said, "You should do the splits between the seats on top of the aisle." And she smiled, looking at me, replying, "I don't think I can do that." By the time they got off, my heart was breaking. The one, pre-law, alleged, made it clear that she wanted to be a prosecutor, Not a prostituter. Twice she repeated it. I was into it. I played guitar for them. They took their videos and inquired where they could see me playing, insisting that they would all be depressed if they didn't see me in a band soon. Parting ways, the hooker lawyer called me Alabama Lush as they all exited the train. A concert. Some girl I'd never heard of. I assume the music is flat and one-dimensional. Is where they were all headed. I went into the city, but the only affordable room is in Irvington, New Jersey. So I had to backtrack to this fucking hovel I find myself in. I'll be on the street in 36 hours or so.